Hello everyone, I'm Chuck Beaver. I am doing a dev commentary playthrough of Dead Space 2. We are on chapter 11. Let's roll. I'm probably going to have to use my one-shot force gun cheat to make it through as I go, because of course the later game gets quite a bit more difficult. And I want to talk and not be frustrated trying to play. Okay, so we have made it through across the sprawl. I remember talking about all this setup with the level design team, with BIM. We're like, okay, we come across the tram, we use the Ishimura to pull, so you can see the Ishimura, hi, there it is, to pull the government station back across, because Tideman severed it with the solar array laser, and so that gave us a reason to get on the Ishimura and pull the government sector across so we could get to it, which is where the marker is, which I need to destroy, so that the replicating signal in my head doesn't kill me. So at this point, the story, I can put it together pretty quickly like that. It's not terrible. It's nice and simple. Destroy the marker, save your life. You want the plots to be that simple at the highest level. If it's more complicated, you won't be able to keep track of what's going on. But it feels like, I don't know, it feels like a separate story after the Dana opening, right? And I really wanted to check in with Brett at some point ever and wonder, he may not have had any more clarity on what he was wanting to do past Dana, because we were writing it kind of as we went. And Strauss was in there, and I think Ellie was in there, and he may not even know what he was planning on doing past that, because it was yet to be written, right? So I'm not sure what we would have gotten. We did what we did. And the story sort of is one unit after the Dana thing with Unitology. You're after the steps with Strauss. You know, that's our way to lead you to the marker I poke, and the way to get to the marker, or at least your goals in the story to save yourself, is something about these steps. So we're trying to build a mystery of what your agenda was as a protagonist. Oh man, why you gotta... Whoa. Okay, you better cough up a health pack. Hope for some health pack drops. Where are some corpses to stomp? Alright. There they are. I hear you. Oh look, there's the little babies coming. Alright. If you're the smart player, you can use the babies to kill the enemies if you get the thing in range. Okay, let's go and stomp some things. I hope we're getting the right ammo and stuff. Alright. Trying to make our way to the government sector. Now I'm kind of obsessed thinking through what we would have gotten if Brett had stayed on and had written stuff. Probably there would have been a Strauss section. I'm not sure if we would have segmented the story more like we did, because Unitology was sort of a segment, and I bet there would have been more of that instead of more of a continuous flow of cause and effect. But I don't know what the segments would have been. Anyway.
Why did you do it, Strauss?
I can't face it. I thought Ellie could. I had to make her see step 3.
What can't you face? What's the last step?
Her. It's what they were afraid of, that I'd face her and destroy the marker. But it's too much. You have to help. You need to see step 3.
Strauss!
So, does that make any sense to anybody? So what happens there is step 4, see her and destroy the marker. Meaning, if step 4 is to see her, which is basically, you'll see clearly the marker symbols, and in Strauss's case, that is the hallucination of his dead wife, which is actually seeing the symbols, right? Seeing through the ghosts, and you'll see the marker for what it is. And if he can do that, then he can destroy the marker somehow. So you're going to have to get to your step 4, which is maybe seeing Nicole clearly. So we're starting to make some analogies there. at least starting to build in your brain, like what's going to have to happen, and leave enough uncertainty about what will happen that you're like, well, I don't know if I want that. But starting to like come together with the plot a bit. All right, so this is a fun section where you don't have access over there, but you got to kill things. You're going to grab things. Okay, we're just going to kind of leave all that alone. Uh-oh. You hear it? I hear it. Where is it? Am I just going to have to run in and blow it up? I don't want to do that. Here, maybe if I just do a force blast, I'll catch wherever it is. I feel always dumb whenever you like run in and you hear those things, but you can't find them. There it is. We've obsessively. I'm such a sucker. It works for me every time. Like as soon as you get up to like grabbing loot, you just kind of continuously just grab loot. All right, let's see if we can run up and then away from it. This get it to trigger without wasting any ammo. Okay. There it is. Ready? Okay. No, no. Did I pass one? I must have. Okay. So far so good. Gotta get through all those. Okay. Big collecty route here. Which means obviously we're gonna be in for a huge spawn a little bit later. Because I think we're over here where we saw that stalker run. Okay, let's go. So now we're in corruption walking. This is sort of a legacy from Dead Space 1 where we had the corruption part of the infection, right, that was on the ship, and there was like this tissue everywhere. That was kind of Glenn's idea. He wanted to have, you know, just a really macabre setting, and so like bloody viscera everywhere sort of spreading and the corruption. This was early on before we had really ironed out the lore, by which I mean like we didn't really know where the corruption came from or how it fit in the ecology. We just knew that we wanted it, like this was the thing. So we did have to kind of figure all this out a little bit better at the beginning of, as Ben and I took over Dead Space 2 halfway through. So this maybe is where we begat the idea of the marker signal, and it animated necromorph, all necromorph activity and necromorph cell growth, necromorphs themselves, and so that this would then be an outgrowth of just human sloughing, like you know how your body just gets rid of dead skin cells constantly. So it makes most of the dust in your bedroom, right? And so if that was true on a ship, then those would become necromorph dead cells, and that would begin to form the corruption. It would just begin growing and growing. So we were trying to unify all the cause and effect of the necromorph ecology as for all the things we had already published in Dead Space 1 that didn't necessarily have a seat in the overall framework. So that's how we justified the corruption. And let's save really quick. And I think it kind of worked. I'm going to start my chapter 12 save eventually for that. Why do I say it kind of worked? So when I say it kind of worked, what do I mean by that? I've learned that since then, adding complexity to explain parts of your lore, like, is my least favorite idea. In my opinion, lore is best when it is utterly simple at the core, like the cause and effect chain and the number of things that are exception cases to the rules almost are bad. I'm not saying that's an exception case to the rule, the corruption, but it's one more thing you have to account for. And so if you start doing random ideas in your lore building and then you start trying to knit it all together after, the chances of a bunch of random ideas knitting together cleanly later is zero, right? So we got sort of lucky, I said, and there's a couple things I've mentioned before that don't make perfect sense in the lore as we started adding core reasons to why things were the way they were, such as if Isaac is so important to the lore, or to the marker's ecology being smart, right? Then why is it trying to kill him? You know, so those sort of things. And I think like you have to be the person who can destroy the marker is the one who made it. That came out of Dead Space 2, but that becomes, I think it's okay. Again, the whole thing with the marker, the platform in Dead Space 1, that was a vestige of when we first started. Like, and Glenn had wanted the entire thing was, it was going to be a rancid moon of criminals that had been, like, you know, trapped there by this mysterious marker. The marker was marking that the criminals were there, don't uncork it. And then when you do, it just let all this evil out, and then you had to deal with it, right? So it wasn't man-made at the beginning. It was a moon they were trapped on, of course, and which is why you can see all the vestiges of that in Callisto Protocol. That's Glenn. We got away from that, so I think Glenn was happy to go back and do the thing he wanted to do originally, right? This lore got out of hand. Like, we had the idea that it was man-made, right? We're like, okay, now we got to figure that out as a twist, you know, is what Brett had proposed that as. But then what was it going to do to the lore? We somehow made it work. Okay, I got to go over here. I got to go around and figure out this puzzle. But every time you add a wrinkle like that, okay, now it's man-made. Like, does it fit? Like, what are you going to do with that? Because you have to make it fit. I don't know. What's happening? Oh, great. Get ready. I think I have to go down to figure out the puzzle. So, I think that can kind of all work. I think we made it work in the end. There's still a few, I think, legacy holes in there. I sort of whined about this to Joe Barry, and I said, hey, I'm sorry that we left you with so much leftover legacy lore that didn't quite add up. She's very gracious. She's like, nah, it all worked. We got it figured out. But they had to clean up some stuff, and even in Dead Space 1, right, with all the stuff we published later, with hallucinations and all this stuff, and like, how was Nicole? Was she helping you? Was she really there? They cleaned that up with Elizabeth Cross, right? So they managed to figure it out. This is a terrible strategic place to be because you have multiple venues to access your position. Nails. Build up on that is fierce. Where am I getting? Also having some lurker problems. Okay. I think I'm okay. So, I think that in the end we sort of got it all together. Like I said, the marker signal worked. We never really solved why it's trying to kill you if you're part of its ecology. And again, I think the ghosts still are something that isn't as clear as we might want. If Motive was ever going to remake Dead Space 2, if they ever get lucky enough to get greenlit for that, I would be really interested to see what Joe and her team want to do with ending, if they just keep it the exact same, or keep it the same ending but then sort of redress the cause and effect that gets you there, you know? Maybe they will. But for now, when I've talked about this to other people, everyone seems pretty happy with Dead Space. I'm the only one who seems to be really confused about Dead Space 2's ending. Everybody else can sort of squint their eyes and make the logic make sense for the final understanding of the way the ghosts are in this setup and what their ghosts' role are and what they say and do here that leads to the ending of Dead Space 1 relative to their behavior up to this point. in Dead Space 1 and 2. Sorry, the ending of Dead Space 2, rather. And the way that Nicole comes out. So we're getting close to that. We'll talk about it as we get into it. But I just wanted to make a pitch here for when you're doing your game. Be sure you figure out your lore in pretty detailed. Do your homework. Do your pre-production. Don't ever leave anything for later. That was my biggest thing, is that I think some of the stuff, we would solve all the easy parts in pre-production. We're like, okay, we got that figured out, we got that figured out. And then these harder parts I'm talking about, we were like, oh, I don't really know how we're going to fix that. We'll figure it out later. Guess what never happens. The hard things that are hard at some point stay hard because that doesn't get any easier, right? And so don't delude yourself that you can you can just sort of kick the can down the road and worry about solving the hard parts at some distant point, because it's not going to happen. That time is not coming. If it's hard at one point, it's hard at all points. And that will simply be a problem you are sad that you've given yourself. I think this is the stuff I'm talking about is what occupied Ben and I's time a lot, like in the second half of Dead Space 2 when we took it over. After Glenn and crew had departed, this spawn is endless. We sat on that room, the huge whiteboard, circular whiteboard wrapped around that room, just writing all this stuff out. And we were going in circles and circles and circles, trying to figure everything out. Like, okay, well, if this is true, then this must be true. Oh, wait, no, but then that violates this. But then that happens. And so, obviously, some of it we couldn't republish. Dead Space 1, like that stuff was out there. So we were stuck with that. Oh, where am I going? Okay. God, there's a lot of lurkers down here. Where all the babies come from in the government sector? You know what I'm saying? Oh, hi. Am I going to go up to go down? I can't remember where I'm at. Sorry, guys. So I think we got to a point where we thought we could at least write some of what was going on, and we kind of got there. And some stuff you can kind of hand wave and hope for the best, which we did on some pieces. And overall, it certainly came together. Oh gosh, stop vomiting on me. In Dead Space 3, I felt like we were able to really wrap up the lore and the ecology in a way that, in my opinion, was really satisfying. I know that the story part of Dead Space 3, as far as the main story and some of the romance arc and all that, we were struggling with that. I know this is a Dead Space 2 playthrough, but okay, I gotta go through here. But, fair warning in games, there was supposed to be a...
Workers, be mindful of the nearest survival chamber. These are your only hope of survival should a cave-in occur.
Thanks. Extra help. But we tried to make the Norton-Isaac arc be more of a thing in the love triangle, because that was humanizing the whole thing. Oh, a save point. And we lost a giant chunk of the game progression in the beginning, where Isaac and Norton bonded over a traumatizing, a survival moment, having to help each other. And that sort of blew part of the romance triangle real estate, screen time out of the water, and so we were trying to stitch it together in later levels, and it just didn't come out. Okay, hold on. And I did get a chance, by the way, to talk to Ben Monat on text yesterday.
Isaac, we've been waiting for you. Now it's your turn. Oh God, Ellie, step 3.
You owe me an eye, you bastard.
It's so good. I remember the two Kurt and Sunita on the mocap stage doing that, And then the lines there at the end, it's like, they just had so much fun. Ah! So, obviously Strauss has gone crazy. Ripped out Ellie's eye, which is very appropriate for a horror game. Because he's obsessed with, trying to get her to see what he sees about the steps. Oh, hey! I've got the wrong weapon for this. So now you get dragged out and thrown into space, of all things. What? I'm gonna see if I can switch weapons because I'm gonna need my plasma cutter.
She won't help, but you will, Isaac. You'll see her after step 3.
Isaac, he's run off. Deeper into the mines.
I've got problems on this end too. Get somewhere safe.
I'll try.
She sounds pretty good for someone who had her eye gouged out. Oxygen. I just got thrown into space. I think that's pretty great. I love the whole idea of, whoa, 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 oh, I gotta kill one of these things. Come on, lady. Sorry, I'm trying to blow off these yellow things. Oh, I didn't switch weapons. That's my problem. Okay, one more time. Okay, we're gonna try to stasis her. If I can get out of this line of fire, then get rid of those things. Get rid of those things. One more. Oh, did she miss my stasis? Come here. Okay, I got her. Now I remember this. I think I have to move these out of the way before my oxygen goes. All right. Okay, I gotta go find oxygen really quick. Oh, there's some. Hold on, Isaac, I'm going. Oh no, I bet I'm gonna die before I get there. 26, 25, 24. So anyway, like I was saying, Strauss has kind of lost his mind. He's run off. And we are foreshadowing the eye poke moment finally with screwdrivers and eyes and yelling about steps. Oh gosh. So that's all good. Oh look, there it is. You got to put those things on them and shoot those off. Ready? That moves them away. Because you got to clear this opening. Where are you trying to go? There's one more. I probably should get some more oxygen. Pew, pew, pew. This is a great setup, by the way. I don't really was big of this. So when you get grabbed like that and thrown out into space, like, that's more of the stuff Ian was harshing us on. Well, harshing on me for was the designs of some of those, because you have to funnel the player at a spot in order to be able to grab them. And okay, now what do I do? Oh, now you grab one of these. But they're effective, and they get us where we need to, because in a game like this, when you've got the continuous POV camera, you don't really have any control over it, because the player is running around with it. And what you need is, I'm gonna see if I can get in here in time, but I'm running out of stuff, is this ability to funnel the players down into these areas. Oh gosh. I'm gonna run past these, oh no! So you can grab the camera, right? It's a whole thing. Let's grab some oxygen. Grab oxygen. So I think those worked. And like you just saw, we got grabbed in a tentacle. It was a continuous, like a hallway. So we were able to... This hallway is so hard because you were busy trying to, like, survive in oxygen while these things are destroying you. Get out of here! Man, I lost all my health on that. But that's a constant challenge in level design of a game like this, is like, when can I grab the camera to get into a cinematic moment? This is a long way before you get oxygen. So...
Ellie, I'm back inside. Where are you? Where's Strauss?
I'm safe for now, but he's lost it. I think he's coming for you. I found something you're gonna want to see. Here's my location. Oh. Hurry and get here. I'm not in any shape to be fighting.
I'll get there as soon as I can. Stay safe.
Thanks. And you'll notice that we had the save station on standby while the logs were playing. So again, is a ton of work to clear out in this amusement park setup where the player is running around with the camera, the capacity to run linear media inside an interactive media. Like, how do you not step on other triggers and stuff? So that's a pretty monumental effort that we had to go through constantly in the whole game to make sure that works. Okay, save. Man, that system took all my health. I was being pretty sloppy in that playthrough, so now I'm like dead. Alright, there's a button to push here. I'm gonna buy some more health. Did I really go through all my health? Oh no, there it is. Okay. But I think we're able to... Oop. Oh no. And I've put up my one-hit wonder gun in exchange for my plasma cutter. Is that going to be wise? I don't know. We'll see. Oh no. Okay. Slowly making my way through this spawn. I hear things. Where are they? This is a great setup. Big open space, but you can only walk on a limited section of it. I'm plasma cutting my way through this. I hear lurkers running around. Where is this lurker? Ah, the satisfying sounds of Dead Space combat. Screaming necromorphs. Your plasma cutter going off. Stomping things. There you are. I hear all you bastards. Where are you? Oh, that's the tell. Alright. Ooh, a node. So I think, in the end, the composite of the way the level is put together and the way we grab the camera for non-interactive moments, the language is pretty clear, and I think that the geo kind of serves the needs as it does. So I thought it was smooth. I thought it works. When you get some surprises, you get grabbed by things when you don't expect it. And I think the whole thing works out. I mean, as opposed to think of games like Zelda or...
Attention shift workers. Your work practices are being monitored at all times. Please show pride in your work.
That's authoritarian, isn't it? Not very good. Let's use a node and get in here and see if there's any fun logs, maybe? I don't need the resources because I'm on this play mode, the simple one, but... Oh, you know what I do need, though? I need health packs. Force energy. Advanced suit. Whee, that's fun. Stasis. So that's what was in here, was the advanced suit? Alright. Man, who wrote this thing? Where's the story? Where are the logs? God, you guys, terrible. And gold semiconductors. Okay, good. That was all that was in here. Alright, we're going to use these dead bodies to get rid of the booby traps. will take pride in my work. Unless I'm wrong, I remember this was a challenging setup. I remember I've several times when playing this on regular for playtesting, I died a bunch in this hallway. I have very specific memories of not surviving this setup. Oh yeah. Because I would either be super low health at this point coming in here with all the black crusty necromorphs. And isn't this one like, I think I get interrupted when I do this. So, you know, everything's about pattern breaking. So you do things enough times and then you find a way to change the setting, change the punchline of a setup, so to speak. I'm not gonna make this one.
There you are!
Ah, this is it.
You have to face her for me! Tell her I didn't mean to do it! Strauss, it's me! See her! It's Isaac! Tell her! Strauss! Step 3! Step 3! Oh god. Why did you do it, Strauss?
Oh, so we got in a big fight with Strauss. He was trying to like tell her I didn't do it, tell his wife he didn't kill her and his son, and then whatever step 3 is, which we're obviously leading up to, which is stick a needle in your eye, and he gets killed by the screwdriver that he poked Ellie's eye out with. Thus endeth Strauss. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that. Do I like that ending? I think it works. Sorry, I'm busy thinking about what I would have done differently now that I know so much more about story with the Strauss ending. I think it was okay. I liked that there was a pattern interrupt there. I don't know that we have enough body on the meat of the steps that we were trying to build that step 3 really paid off, per se. Maybe it did. I don't know. You guys can tell me in the comments if you think it's fine. As an author, you're always looking back, trying to figure out, you know, the three minds, the 3 perspectives that you're dealing with, the characters and the story's perspective, the author's perspective, knowing everything, and then what the audience knows, right, as they play and consume your game and your story. And so, you know, what are you thinking as the audience at that point? You've heard step 3. You're like, do I know what to do with that information? I know just about step 3 is kind of all there is, right? You know, it would be fun.
Shut up! Just shut up! The marker? It was you. You made me do it. You made me kill it. Didn't you?
What you should be still haven't come to terms with who I am. Who am I, Isaac? I will ask you one more time before the end. Be ready.
Who am I, Isaac? I'll ask you one more time before the end. So there's a big mystery there. That's working. And he's yelling at her. So he's getting really defiant about the marker. He's no longer just a passive victim of its hallucinations. He's aware of it. It's lucid. So something's happening there. Okay. So we're heading towards maybe the eye poke. And the Nicole arc is starting to like culminate towards its end as well, right? Yes, the classic crawling up to get me. Oh, my inventory's still full. All right. Can we pre-kill anything? My inventory's full. All right, let's go. And so yeah, the conflict with Nicole / the marker is coming to a head. So we're going to see what that is. And I guess we're interested in step 3. What is that? arguably you're supposed to be putting together that
Mineral resources, precious. This will be confiscated.
more authoritarian stuff. Oh, the elevator sequences. These are always fun. Good way to get ganked. These are the miners. I assume we've given enough information that you think that the step 3 is the way to success. And you're gonna do whatever that is to figure out how to destroy the marker. Because Strauss is supposed to have been... He was your key, by the way, to... And now he's dead. To destroying the marker, right? So will you be able to figure it out on your own? Maybe. I think that's kind of meant to be the... Is this the Dark Night of the Soul? I don't know about that. We probably could have made it more clear now, like as I process where the story is, that you feel lost without Strauss. As screwed up as he was your path to fixing all this. Hey, the spawn is crazy. So I might have voiced that more, right, in the script. Written more of Isaac to be like, well, okay, now I don't know what to do. Like, I'm lost. He was the only one who knew what the steps were. I don't even know what the steps are. I don't know how to destroy the marker and save myself. I might have made more of a meal out of that.
One shred, one light, one bright shining star you clung to in this universe. And all you guilt, forcing the life out of you because you can't get over the fact that I'm dead, and you feel responsible. Why do you keep fighting me? Why can't you let go?
Because you are my everything. And if I let you go, I've got nothing left.
Step 4. Acceptance. Now you're ready to finish this.
That's pretty great. So that's all Ben Monat. He wrote that. He had the whole thing in his brain. Really good. I think culmination of the mystery arc there. Like, what is that heading towards? It was heading towards acceptance of her death. Like, what is it Isaac couldn't face? So it's an externalized internal change of Isaac. Why can't he let her go? And he says, because you're my everything, and if I let you go, then I have nothing. He faces his fear, voices it, begins to accept that she is dead, which was, of course, the entire part of the first Dead Space 1, is he couldn't, he saw the video of her dying even before he got to the Ishimura and couldn't admit that she was dead, right? That was the whole gag. So he has, obviously, issues with that. So this brings that to a peak. It's why this ghost has been tormenting him. Am I your guilt, or am I your expression of love for Nicole? And I think that works out perfectly. So I think Ben did a fantastic job of that arc. And now you're ready to finish this. Step 4, acceptance, right? So now we've heard of step 3, and step 4 is apparently this last step. There's a bench. Let's upgrade some stuff. So good on you, Ben. I think you did you had that whole arc in your head and you kept it together and paid it off with that beat, which is great. So that all makes sense so far. Will it make sense in the end? Like that she turns against him? I'm not sure the double cross there is going to work. But we'll see. I think... But her putting Isaac through his paces of acceptance, of grief and denial, as a ghost, I think that all works as a piece, But like I was talking about way earlier, like, does it comport with the lore overall of the ghost and the marker? Is that their role? Is that what this one ghost does? Is that what all ghosts do? I'm not sure. So we'll see. Okay, the time has come to talk about this lore and my epiphany about it. This is the critical junction where all of this lore has come to a head, meaning at that Nicole moment that we just saw. I will continue to get into this epiphany across the final episodes of this series, but this is the best place to talk about it. The ghost phenomena in Dead Space comes from the marker signal. It creates hallucinations, usually of dead loved ones, to manipulate its victims. These ghosts serve two main purposes. First, they're a fast track to madness. The emotional bonds make the visions convincing, leading to paranoia, violence, and suicide. This is perfect for generating corpses, which are the raw materials for necromorphs, and eventually a Brethren moon. Secondly, they guide the savant class of individuals, those who can perceive the marker signals as symbols, becoming blueprints to create replica markers. The ghosts may seem helpful at first, encouraging survival and discovery, but it's all instrumental. The marker only helps while the victims remain useful. Once the blueprints are complete, the tone shifts. The hallucinations turn cruel, weaponizing trauma to drive the savant towards collapse, so they will not be a threat. For whoever can see the marker blueprints clearly knows how to destroy them as well as make them. That's why Isaac and Strauss are tormented so relentlessly. They've served their purpose, and are potentially now a threat. Isaac will succeed where Strauss fails. When Isaac finally accepts Nicole's death, step 4, he clears the trauma from his brain and is able to turn the marker's signal against it, manifesting a helpful Nicole. Originally, that was the ending. After the eye poke, Isaac would destroy the marker with Nicole's help. But late in development, we were told we needed a boss fight. So we have Nicole reappear. No longer a memory, but the marker breaking back through. With Isaac standing so close, the signal overwhelms him one last time, a final attempt to break him before he breaks it. Now that's spoilers all over the place. We're not at the end of these chapters yet, but I wanted to summarize this lore drama that was going on in my head through this whole series at this point, because we're at a critical juncture with the Nicole moment that just happened, and it's a good place to bring it all up and clear it all out, rather than asking you to remember later. So we're at this point now where we know that we've managed to make it through the Nicole conflict and the Strauss conflict, and so we're getting obviously towards the end of Act 3 here. Chapter 12! All right. We are going to hop back around. And no, we're not. We're going to go straight for a save. But now we got to find a save spot, although we're in Chapter 12. Ooh, good. So even though we're technically in Chapter 12, I can't end right now because I got to save. And so really what happens, by the way, narratively speaking, once you're past the internal climax, where Isaac has crossed over and changed and become a new person, he has gone through acceptance now. That's the first step of an Act 3, really. And then what's left is all the Sturm and Drang of the execution, is the fight in the execution after that. The external conflict now has to get resolved. But the internal conflict is often the true crisis climax of the story. And we've kind of just been through that with Isaac. So he's crossed over and he's a new person, and now has to use this acceptance in the external conflict part of the story to fight. I think I also died here a lot. I can't remember. All right. Oh, there's Ellie. Hi, Ellie.
Isaac, over here. Looks like the mechanic was dragged away before he could finish fixing this.
Strauss is dead, Ellie.
Oh, I'm not sorry about that. So what happens now? I thought you needed Strauss to destroy the marker.
Strauss couldn't lead us to the marker. He was running away from his guilt.
What about you?
I'm not running anymore. I know what I have to do. Well, this drill's a stroke of good luck finally. Why don't you get up to the cab to try to get it started? I'll look for the other power cell.
What is she doing? Oh, she's pushing in the power cell.
All right. Let's see what I can do from up here.
Her rig is red. It's red. Okay, we gotta find a thing. Oh yeah, we gotta go through. I remember this level design. This was crazy. So So she finally voiced what I was talking about, like Isaac should have been voicing, like, oh no, I lost my only way to destroy the marker. But apparently he knows what he has to do now. I guess. I don't know what that is. What do you think you have to do, Isaac? Alright, we gotta go find a... This is a long way to go to find a safe station for Chapter 12. So we're gonna get a little bit into Chapter 12 before we... Oh, I don't want that. We can save. Oh wait, I can get the plasma cutter. No, I can't. Okay. Let's go find a battery. And so it's funny, like, Ellie's running around in a tank top. I'm not gonna say it's sexist, but... You know. Is a tank top appropriate for... Well, Isaac's wearing a full suit of armor? Probably not. Man, I hear those things. Oh, hi. Okay. Ooh, help. Okay. I don't need to keep collecting things anymore. Okay, a little puzzle to solve up here. Oh, circuit board. That sounds fun. Do I need a circuit board?
Found it.
Great. I think I've hotwired the system to bypass the nav cards. Thank God.
Yeah.
I don't remember what we had her saying that for. I know that we were... Between the two of them, we were kind of winking at the fourth wall sometimes. Because a lot of the stuff is very gamey. Like, stuff's always bad and getting complicated. Oh, but you gotta go, you know, find a thing for a thing first. And then, you know, she knew things she shouldn't know. About one of the puzzles she had to help him with. So, okay, I gotta find a battery and a circuit card. Okay, hold on. Ooh. Alright, let's go somewhere else and find a battery. Right? Am I tripping? Where is the battery? I think it might have been over there. I don't know. This is crazy. Alright. What's over there? Power node, yay. Alright, I gotta run through this again to try to find this dang battery. Oh, there it is. Nope. But I'm first gonna die by going through a dumb field of these things. Without paying attention. Alright. Oh, I walked right into another one. 0 out of 10 gaming skills. Alright. I got batteries and circuit boards. Let's power up this tractor. Put in a...
Hey, what did you do? I just lost the control holograms.
Yeah, the circuit junction just shorted out. I'll have to find another one.
Well, it's standard. There should be another one around here somewhere.
I'll look. Any luck up there?
Well, no. Not now.
Right.
That's me writing that stuff. Well, no. Not now. I don't know.
It doesn't recognize a new junction.
I think I've got it from up here.
Just rewired from down here.
What? I didn't hear you.
Nothing. Nothing.
So the two of them sort of half flirting. I enjoyed that interaction. I don't know if I'm laughing at my own jokes or what, but like, I think it worked. I'm always a big fan of the Star Wars squabbling squad. That's what I used to call it.
I did it! I got it started. There, you know, there's a lift on the other side. I'll turn around, you can get on.
Thanks.
So she takes credit for it. Where am I going? Ah! Alright, I get attacked while trying to get on the... Do I get killed if I don't get on? Probably gonna die in this sequence, right? Where are the children coming from? Oh god! The Star Wars Squabbling Squad was sort of like Han and Luke and Leia in the classic Star Wars, just fighting while under duress because they can't get along, but they're charming in their sort of disagreement, so I thought that's always a good tone thing to enjoy. I'm kind of trying to imbue that a little bit with Isaac and Ellie.
Okay, I'm on.
Alrighty, let's see what this beast can do.
Okay, now we have to go through here, and we're gonna drill our way through the government sector. Again, this was us thinking of like inventive ways to progress across the sprawl. We had the Ishimura with the gravity tethers. Sloppy. So the drill, we're riding on a platform on a drill as it goes through this space. It was weird there wasn't a save station in front of chapter 12. So what you can do is grab this and
if there's this many down here, how many do we think are above us?
I don't know if these bombs survive the streams. A fun little segment. I don't think I'm supposed to be doing anything.
Hang on! We're coming up on more of that stuff! Sorry!
Okay. Up. More of that stuff. I think I'm going to attack from over here.
You okay out there?
Oh yeah, great time.
Oh no. This is really crazy. And you gotta try to grab the bodies because you need the resources.
Climbing up the sides!
I'll try to keep them off. You just steer clear of those walls.
Oh, I blew myself up. Dumb. How are we doing in here? I guess we're doing okay. This is a big, long, mean sequence. This is actually quite fun. Like, you're literally drilling through corruption and you're trying to get through the government sector in the most gross possible way. It's pretty good. Alright, well. Look at the design of this tractor. Like, we had like such great artists. Like, somebody had to figure out the design of this thing.
Whoa, stop, stop!
Looks like we reached the foundation pylons of the government sector.
So how do we get in there?
Straight ahead. We do have a giant drill.
You know I'm riding on top of this thing, right?
Ellie! 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 Ellie!
Oh, look, we did a cut. Why are we fading? I think this is the one cut in the whole game where we lose POV from Isaac. I think we didn't have any other way to do this. I think we couldn't afford the giant effects it would be of a drill crashing through a wall. So we had to just set the set afterwards and have Isaac thrown off the drill.
We can compare bruises later. But at least we made it, right? And this is most definitely government sector. And I'm guessing that marker of yours is behind that huge door over there.
Well, we better move fast. Those things are gonna find a way up the hole we drilled. There's gotta be an elevator or something connecting these floors. I'm gonna try to make my way to you.
Alright, I'll meet you halfway.
What is she doing to survive? Didn't she need a plasma cutter? What are we doing there? Chapter 13. What? We went through chapter 12 and we did the same thing. Well, now we got to find a save point at this point again. Okay, at this point in the storytelling, by the way, Ben and I had our teeth deep in the flesh of therefore but storytelling, right? So we were definitely focused on making sure that everything felt organic. So our save station is here. We're going to save. Basically now we drilled a hole through government sector, through a bunch of necromorphs to get into government sector, through the security, so that we could get towards the marker, and that will become important in later as the chapter. We will have basically let all the necromorphs in. We will have breached the firewall, so to speak, which will then begin to allow convergence, and we will have been the cause of convergence in this case, right? Like our actions beget a escalation of the risks and the threats in the plot. So that's kind of how you want to have that, even though we're getting closer to our own goal, right? And let's go back and look at this again. I wanted to tell you guys about this setup. So as you can see, this is really, and when you look at it from Ellie's perspective down there, you'll see it's even a bigger mess. Like this is extremely, extremely expensive to put together as a static piece of set, like with all the VFX and this broken tractor. So the reason that we did the one cut in Dead Space 2 at this entrance and let Isaac kind of get thrown off the tractor into frame so we regain his POV is that we didn't have the budget to build a tractor blowing through a giant, messy government sector technical wall with debris flying everywhere. Like we were just out of budget at that point and time. And so we thought, all right, easiest way to do this is to just fade to black and then fade up on the aftermath of it set in place. I don't know if anybody even noticed that. I'm sure people noticed the camera cut, but it's a good trick of cinema when you can like not afford something to show it in frame, do it off frame, and then later point the camera at the setup afterwards. So that was the one nod I think we had to do to a budget constraint, and we had to break our camera rule to get there. But anyway, that's it. All right, well, we're at the end of chapter 12 or 13. I forget how far. I think we just entered chapter 13. So we're going to stop here. That was it for now, and we'll see you on the next playthrough. Thanks, everybody. If you want to learn to talk about narrative the way I do, go check out my web series. The writing wasn't very good. And if you want more Dead Space content, go check out our remake playthroughs at Captain Bribbo.